Yo, what's up guys? How are you doing today, man? Coming guys with another video. Today, I'll be telling you guys why I believe the Indiana Pacers are poised to break out in the 2023-2024 NBA. As we know, last season, the Sacramento Kings were the team to break out, going from 30 wins in the 21-22 season to 48 wins in the third seed last season, going on in 7 games to lose to the reigning NBA champion Golden State Warriors. I don't think their Pacers are going to be the third seed in these regards. I'm not saying all that, but I do have high hopes for this Pacers team, especially what they did this offseason. They definitely are looking really good in my opinion, and they took a lot of steps in the right direction in the last couple of seasons, and I think it will definitely pay off starting with this season right here. But other than that, let's get straight into the video. So as we know, this Pacers team starts with Tyrese Halliburton, the guy that got from the Domantas Sabonis trade a couple years back. That trade has been, in my opinion, a pretty win-win trade. Last season, Tyrese Halliburton averaged 20.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 10.4 assists, shot 49% from the field, and was a first-time All-Star. He had a really good season. He also did shoot 40% from 3 on 7.2 attempts per game. He has good range, one of the best playmakers in all of basketball. One thing I'm looking for Halliburton to improve on, which he's talked about on the Paul George podcast, is his defense and the ability for him to lock in defensively, because as we know, not everybody can be an elite defender, but I have this kind of, I guess, hot take that everybody in the NBA can be a solid defender. You just have to put the work in defensively and buy in defensively. Just lock in defensively. Anybody can become a solid defender in this league, and I do think Tyrese Halliburton can be a pretty solid defender as well. He has a high basketball IQ. He gets in the passing lanes. He gets steals. He gets this. He gets that. He averages 1.6 steals per game. So he definitely has the basketball IQ. He can get in the passing lanes. He can read play, because he has that kind of like telepathy thing. Just because of how elite of a playmaker he is, he can read passing lanes. Just has the high basketball IQ. He has really good range. He can get to the cup pretty effectively. He's really good from the three-point shot. He has range. He has shown to be clutch in his career. Hit a game-winning 3 against my Heat, unfortunately, this season in Miami. Hit a game-winning shot against the Bulls in Chicago. And he also had the game-winning pass in Staples Center, still calling it Staples Center, against the Lakers in LA, passing it to Andrew Nembhard after being looked like it was double team or triple team. Got his Nembhard in the left corner. He hits it, and they won the game over the Lakers in electric fashion. So this team really starts with Tyrese Halliburton. He's a really good player. Just signed a massive, damn near super max deal, first time All-Star. He's a franchise guy for this team, and I think he will have a really good season this season. The only thing I'm looking for Tyrese Halliburton to improve on in terms of his game outside of his defense is the balance between scoring and playmaking. As we know, he was arguably the best playmaker in basketball last season, up there with Nikola Jokic, and even guys like Chris Paul still doing his thing, playmaking the basketball. I'm looking for a balance between him, because at points he can be too unselfish and too pass heavy, which he really just tries to get his guys involved and probably doesn't get enough shots up, which I want him to go ahead and improve. And then they have their young stud Benedict Mathurin, drafted last year, the 2022 NBA draft, the number 6 pick out of Arizona. He started off red hot, especially his ability to get to the free throw line, which was like kind of like unprecedented. You don't really see a rookie just come in and get those many foul calls. It was pretty decent from the 3-point shot, had a pretty solid mid-range shot, but as we know, his bread and butter is getting to the rim. He's freakish athletic at 6'6", 195. The man can get up there. He's ferocious. He's tough. He has that confidence. Remember that quote he had? He said, LeBron James is going to have to show me that he's better than me. So he has that immense confidence you love out of a guy. Last season, he averaged 16.7 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 1.5 assists, shot 43.4% from the field. So he definitely did struggle with his efficiency, especially in the second half of the season. Shot 32.3% from 3, and he averaged 5.8 attempts from the free throw line last season and sunk 82.8% of them. That's definitely one of the things he needs to work on, is his efficiency, but he gets to the line really with the best of them already in the league, which is insane for a 21-year-old about to be sophomore in this league. But I love his potential to get to the rim. Want to see him improve in terms of his shot making in the mid-range, in the 3-point shot, and just continue to absolutely just go down, put his head down, and absolutely become a force to be reckoned with in the paint and get his free throw line. But I think Mathurin is the perfect running mate, in my opinion, to Tyrese Halliburton. And then they made a pretty interesting move this offseason. They went ahead and they signed Bruce Brown, NBA champion Bruce Brown, fresh off of an NBA Finals run, which he played some pretty good basketball, especially in the NBA Finals. Bruce Brown signed a pretty large deal, a 2-year deal for $45 million, which would be paying him $22 million this season, and next season $23 million. But that is a club option, so they can go ahead and just not pick it up, and it would be a free agent. And again, he's only 27 years old, so there's definitely a lot to look forward to for Bruce Brown. Came off a season in which he averaged 11.5 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 3.4 assists, shot 48.3% from the field. Was doing this really as a backup point guard to Jamal Murray on the Denver Nuggets, who was coming off the bench, putting up these really good stats. Was really playing at points starting minutes, so it really doesn't matter who was playing off the bench. He was getting started most. He was in at points closing out games. He also played the 3 as well, which is probably going to be his position with the Indiana Pacers last season. He also shot 35.8% from the 3-point line. Pretty good at attacking the rim. Has a decent mid-range shot. Pretty solid 3-point shooter, but his bread and butter is being a Swiss Army knife, a defensive pest. It gets in the passing lanes, really good defender, get to the cup, and just be an absolute just pest. Like I said, he is a Swiss Army knife. He does really anything you want him to. You want a basketball, can play make as well. Like I said, he was playing backup point guard for the Nuggets last season. He's a pretty solid playmaker. He just does it all. And for this Pacers team, they definitely need a veteran like a guy like a Bruce Brown, a guy that just won for a team like the Pacers that hasn't really been doing too much since they got swept from the 2020 first round in the bubble by my Miami Heat. They have not touched the playoffs, so definitely gonna need a lot of Bruce Brown for that amount of money. But I definitely think he is a really good match for this Indiana Pacers team, and I definitely think he will definitely help them out this season. They also made an underrated move as they went ahead and traded for Obi Toppin for 2 future second-round picks from the New York Knicks. Obi Toppin was a guy that has a lot of potential. He was the number 8 overall pick at the 2020 NBA draft out of Dayton, and he was really back in Julius Randle ever since he's been in the NBA. Just hadn't gotten his time to go ahead and spread his wings and show that he's an actual quality NBA player in this league. And he really didn't get much run last season, 15 minutes a game, improved towards the end of the season in terms of his 3-point shot. One of the only guys against the Miami Heat that was actually knocking down threes at a decent clip and really just playing really good basketball. Last season, he averaged 7.4 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 44.6% from the field, 34.4% from 3. Definitely want him attacking the rim a lot more. The fact that he didn't shoot even the free throw attempt per game on average definitely is concerning. He, as we know, is one of the most ferocious dunkers, again, like Benedict Mathurin in the NBA. He can get up there really well. He's freakishly athletic. Just wanted to see him improve more on attacking the rim overall and get to the free throw line, because as we know, he is a pretty big guy, 6'9", 220. He can definitely get to the rim. Definitely want to see him improve in the mid-range and the 3-point shot as well. Hopefully he can blossom with the Indiana Pacers. And I'd also do like the ability for him to catch lobs from Tyrese Halliburton. I think they will be one of the most underrated lob duos in the NBA. Halliburton, an elite playmaker. Obi Toppin, an elite dunker, which is like a match made in heaven. Definitely want to see him improve in terms of spacing, because him at the 4 right now is looking pretty nice. Now on to center. As we know, they have Miles Turner. I feel like his quality has to be one of the most underrated guys in all of the NBA. The only time I hear people talking about Miles Turner is when he's in trade talk, trade discussions, but he just signed a contract this season and he will not be traded anytime soon. If I were to guess, they just obviously signed him. Last season in 62 games, Miles Turner averaged 18 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, shot 54.8% from the field, and 37.3% from the 3-point line. Also, to get to the line on an average of 4.5 attempts per game and sunk 78.3% of his free throw attempts. And also, he averaged 2.3 blocks per game. Miles Turner has to be one of the most underrated players in the NBA overall. The man is a flat-out elite rim protector, up there with one of the best rim protectors in all of basketball. I was looking him up his stats recently in terms of his accolades. The fact that this guy has never been an all-NBA defensive team nominee is insane. Like, the fact that he's never been nominated or been on a team for all-NBA defensive team is insane. The man led the league in blocks. I was not on all-NBA. I know the center position, the big position, is pretty tough this season with guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., with guys like Bam Adebayo, with guys like Brook Lopez. I get it. But Miles Turner is an elite rim protector. And the fact that he's never been on a team even prior to the season is absolutely insane. He's a really good stretch big in this league. Like I said, he averaged 4 attempts from 3 this season and sunk 37.3% of them. I feel like he's a really nice running mate as well with Tyrese Halliburton. I got to stretch the floor, playing the pick and pop, decent rebounder, pretty efficient. It's a flat-out really good player and severely underrated. And then they also have their 6th-man Buddy Hield, come off the bench, is quietly one of the best shooters in all of basketball statistic-wise, who averaged 16.8 points per game last season, 5 rebounds, 2.8 assists, shot 45.8% from the field, and 42.5% from three, which is absolutely insane. Really good mid-range shooter, really good 3%, is really good shooter overall. An underrated part about Buddy Hield, I don't think people give him enough credit for, is his playmaking ability. Last season, he was playmaking the ball pretty well, especially when he was starting to begin off the season. He was playmaking the ball pretty well and just showed that he's this more than a shooter. He can be a pretty decent playmaker. He's a pretty decent driver as well. As we know, he's an elite shooter. That is what he is known for more than anything in his game. He's a guy that is, in my opinion, a really underrated guy that come off your bench. He also is a guy that, like I said, not only a shooter, he also can go ahead and create his own shot, especially in the mid-range. We know he has absolutely insane elite range in his league as well, and definitely a guy that you would love to have coming off your bench, because he can be a flamethrower. He can actually win you a game, win you a series, win you something big. Just he can get hot, and when he's hot, he's up there with one of the best shooters in the NBA. And then they have a couple underrated guys as well, like T.J. McConnell, who averaged 8.7 points per game, 3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, shot 54.3% from the field, 44.1% from three. When Halliburton was out, he had 12 assist games, one of the best backup point guards in basketball, a pest defensively, silky smooth mid-range jump shot, pretty underrated playmaker, and just an all-around really nice backup point guard in this league. They also have Andrew Nembhard as well. He averaged 9.5 points per game last season, 2.7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, shot 44.1% from the field, 35% from three. Played pretty well as well when Halliburton went out. I'm pretty sure he had like a double game, like 25 and like 13 against the Warriors when Halliburton was out. Pretty underrated rookie last season. Definitely want to see him improve on his efficiency, especially for the mid-range and 3-point shot overall, but he definitely did have a nice rookie season, like solid rookie season. Definitely look to see him improve next season as well, as he will probably be, in my opinion, the backup shooting guard for this Indiana Pacers team. And then they have drafted Jarris Walker with the number 8 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft out of Houston, who averaged 11.2 points per game last season with Houston, 6.8 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.3 blocks, shot 46.5% from the field, and 34.7% from three on 2.8 attempts per game. Definitely want to see his 3-point shot translate into the NBA overall. Definitely a big guy, 6'8", 240, probably going to be a nice power forward for this team, and definitely want to see him in the paint. I also want to see his defensive versatility, how that translates into the NBA overall. Just a really nice player overall, and I definitely want to see his game translate into the NBA this season. And they also have Isaiah Jackson, who is funny because on ESPN, like, they have him ranked, they have him listed as a small forward, even though he's 6'10", 206. But this is a guy that's a pretty nice backup center in this league. I definitely think they should be playing him over Daniel Tice, especially since they drafted him with the number 22 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft out of Kentucky. He's only 21 years old. The fact that this guy was literally born in the same year as me, 2002, like, Jesus Christ. 7.2 points per game this season. He averaged 4.5 rebounds, shot 56.3% from the field, and 1.5 steals per game in 16.5 minutes. Yeah, the man is nice. An all-around really nice backup center in this league at 6'10". Can be a really good rim protector. He could finish as well, be pretty efficient around the rim as well. Nice backup center for this Pacers team, and definitely looking forward to seeing him improve this season. But yeah, y'all, that is why I'm excited for the Indiana Pacers team. This is why I think they will break out this season. They have a lot of players as well that didn't mention, like Daniel Tice, who's a solid big in this league. Jordan Ward, who's a solid forward in this league. And Jalen Smith, who I liked when they traded for him from that Torrey Craig trade. Last season wasn't that good. Year prior, he was pretty solid in my opinion. He did start off last season pretty good. I have him in fantasy, actually, in fantasy basketball. The first couple of weeks, he was cooking. And then after that, he just kind of fell out of rotation. I'm like, damn, that's tough. But they have a really nice roster, in my opinion. A pretty solid roster overall. I think they're going to break out. Like I said, they're going to be a top, like, 4 seed. I'll have them in a range between 6 and maybe 9. I definitely think they'll be a minimum of play-in team no matter what. I feel like I take that I haven't been in the playoffs in how long? Again, since the bubble 2020. We're about to be on like 3+ years of that. So yeah, that's insane at this point. But shout out to the Indiana Pacers. Been a lot of nice moves this offseason. Hopefully these moves pan out for them. They look really nice on paper. Hopefully, like I said, it works out for them this season. But other than that, yo, that is the video. Go down below, drop a like, comment down below, sub up. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. It's your boy John. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm out, man. Peace.